Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibzu7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 vlog here today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about this week's update, which is the new quest, Dead and Buried, as well as an additional building, kind of a building add-on to our fort here at Fort Farinthry. So I'm here on my main account, and yeah, welcome to my brand new, just constructed fort. I had not actually started Fort Farinthry at all on this account before today. So I had to go through all of the quests here and build every one of the buildings. I don't have the Woodcutter's Grove built still, as that was not required, and these are all still at tier 1, so pretty far behind on this account, as I've mostly been doing it on my other accounts. But when I saw that this quest had what seemed to be a lot of combat in it based on the requirements in the in-game quest log, I figured it would probably be better to do it on my main first, just to be safe and be sure it's not going to potentially kill my hardcores. But yeah, overall, I really liked the quest. I thought it was a good one. Definitely, I read through the dialogue and played through the quest myself. Didn't use a guide, as I like to do on the day of release of quests, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit. Oh yeah, obviously, if you're afraid of story spoilers, then probably don't watch this until you do the quest, because I will be talking about some points in the story and potential future updates, so just be aware of that. But yeah, during the quest, when you're in the dream realm or whatever, and have to kill the nightmares, it was pretty awkward and kind of annoying switching between my character and the raptor to do that. And the animation for finishing off the nightmares with the raptor was pretty long, and I don't know, that just really felt quite clunky to me in general. Would have been nicer if the raptor just finished them off, by themselves, and we didn't have to switch and do it. Having the ability to switch between each other for the puzzle section with the rocks was pretty cool. And I really liked how when your character pushed the rock, it moves one tile, but when the raptor pushes the rock, it moves like 5 or 6 tiles. I thought that was kind of a funny little touch here. And yeah, I was really surprised to learn that the raptor is actually Queen Elmaria from Varrock. That was a pretty big surprise to me. I guess, yeah, I don't know. It just kind of came out of nowhere, but she was told to be a mighty warrior and did slay all those dark beasts when the murder on the, during the murder mystery quest, Murder on the Border. So it kind of makes sense. And as you can see, they did update the raptor's model as a result of today's update. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the model itself looks better, but the design of the character has really been toned down quite a bit, which I think is probably not good. The raptor used to be much, bigger looking and more of a almost like a tank looking type of person with a shield that was as big as their body and stuff like that. So I don't really know why they changed the design of the character in such an extreme way. It looks a lot less imposing now than before, and I'm not as big of a fan of it, I guess, as far as the design is concerned, but the model itself does look better. So I don't know, it's kind of a 50-50 on that. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments. There was a pretty funny scene in the quest where you're learning a little bit about Elmaria's backstory and her childhood, pretty tragic event that occurred there. But during that, when you're learning that it's actually Elmaria, it does like this camera pan around, and there's this child, which is representing Elmaria's child self. The model for that looks absolutely terrible, and then you have your character model, which looks absolutely terrible, and then you have the raptor new model, which just looks so much better in comparison to them. And then also, when the panning is happening, the child turns into the adult version of Elmaria, which has also been updated as a part of today's update. The model for her has changed, and that looks really good. So just compared to, it happens in a lot of quests where there's updated characters nowadays, especially when they're like the only updated character. I think one of the pirate quests has one of the characters that's like an updated model, and everyone else just looks super old and ugly. But the biggest issue and biggest contrast in all of these scenes is always going to be the player model. I mean, just it doesn't even compare if you stand side by side with one of the new character models, and it would be even more clear on Elmaria, who actually has the, doesn't have the armor on. I think she should be in Varrock Castle. Where's my law runes? I don't even know. Don't use this account at all right now. But yeah, good to get it up to date with the current storyline. And I will be playing on this account for the release of Necromancy, at least at the start, to learn it and get an idea of it and stuff like that. Okay, she's back there. I guess I can make my way back there. But yeah, overall, I really liked the quest. I really liked the way the Dream Realm sort of looked. It had a really cool atmosphere and vibe to it that I was a pretty big fan of. Like right when I went in there, I was like, ooh, this place is cool. I mean, it is just like blackness and not really anything super interesting to look at. But then you have like the little bits of architecture jutting out of the ground. I don't know. I thought it really came together well as a cool little vibe and just felt like a little bit claustrophobic almost. But yeah, so this is the new Elemeria character model. And I mean, it's if she would stop moving around so much, like it's crazy how different it is compared to the player character. It's like night and day. Insanity. Like PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 3 graphic levels of difference. I feel like they really need to revisit the character model rework or whatever, player avatar refresh, because man, it is just a striking comparison. I have a friend who actually refuses to play the game because of how bad the graphics supposedly are now. I don't think a player avatar refresh will necessarily convince him to play the game, but still, looking like this is definitely not helping in that respect. I mean, come on, dude. So I hope they revisit that project. I mean, I know it must be really, really, really big to have to do that, considering the number of items and cosmetics and armor there are in the game, but it's sorely needed, and this new quest only highlights that even more so. But yeah, so that's the discussion about the player model. What else? I really liked the dungeon area which you go into, where Zemregal was looking or found that map. I thought that was a really cool area. It kind of had the same vibe to me as like one of the reason why I like Elemental Workshop. Like you're going down underground into old ancient ruins and uncovering stuff. It's always been kind of a fun thing for me in quests like this. So I really like that little area. The zombies and stuff in there that you had to fight as well were super weak. So there's really no dangerous combat in this quest. The nightmares like barely even hit you. That's probably mostly because you have to switch between characters, so it'd be really awkward and hard to manage if the zombies or the nightmares were actually doing like a lot of damage. You had to be careful not to die. I don't think your character takes damage when you switch off of them. So yeah, I'm not sure how much I like that whole segment. I think it worked for the puzzle, like I said, but I don't know if that was worth it for how clunky and awkward it made the combat sequences. But might just be me on that. Other than that, yeah, I like that little dungeon area after the quest. And basically what they've pretty much revealed as part of this quest, as far as I'm concerned, is if you know old school RuneScape at all, the next quest is pretty much going to be featuring the boss, Vorkath from old school. So I don't know if it's going to be a new boss in RS3 or how that actually is going to work. I know there's probably tons of speculation out there right now, but they mentioned Vorkath by name, and the map shows a hidden island previously unknown in the Fremenic area, which is exactly where Vorkath is in old school. So yeah, it mentions him by name. There's a dragon there. I mean, it's obviously him. It's just, the only thing you can speculate on is what's it going to be when you get there. Like, is he going to be alive? Are we going to actually fight Vorkath in RS3? Is it going to be a new boss fight? Who knows? I think that would be really cool. I've done a little bit of Vorkath on old school, and it's not the most interesting boss on there, but to be honest with you, there are very few interesting bosses on old school. There's only so much you can do with such a limited combat system. But yeah, I wouldn't put Vorkath among those that are rather interesting to fight against. But I'm sure they could do it much better on RS3, as they've demonstrated with almost every boss they've released over the years has been really, really good and, complex and a lot of, challenging and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to that update if it does end up coming now. The issue with that is that this Dead and Buried quest update was the last update for this part of the Fort Fern 3 season. So we likely won't see the next quest, which will feature going to that island where Vorkath supposedly is, until I don't even know when. Maybe December the earliest, or like early next year. I don't know, because the issue with that is they're coming out with Necromancy, obviously. Necromancy's coming out in like half a month now, and just a couple weeks, which is kind of crazy. How quickly it's coming out. I feel like I really wasn't expecting to be before September, but they drop early August, which was insane. But yeah, once Necromancy comes out, there's going to be, I guess they said, a mini season of time for Necromancy itself. Now, when the skill comes out on the day it is released, it's going to be fully complete. As far as I understand it, it's going to have, I think they said 7 quests or something like that. And then there's 2 new bosses, of course. So I don't know what other updates they have planned for this little section of time where we're stepping away from the Fort Friend 3 storyline. But then we will be going back to this, and that's when that quest will come out, I assume. I'm not sure if we'll be getting any new buildings for the fort in the meantime. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to Necromancy. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm going to be definitely grinding it and looking forward to exploring the city. If there's anything really there to do, I'm not 100% sure what there's a lot of stuff that's sort of not been mentioned fully. But still, I think it'll be a really, really fun. I always love new skill releases, love to jump into those. The only new skill releases I've been around for have been, I think I was around when Dungeoneering came out, but I wasn't really that into it. And that was a long time ago too, so I was quite a bit younger. I was around for Divination, grinded that pretty hard to start out, which was kind of fun, but Divination is not really that interesting of a skill. I wasn't around for the actual Invention skill release, I don't think. I wasn't playing. And then Archaeology was just amazing. So really looking forward to it with, how much Archaeology gave me a lot of confidence in their ability to do these big updates. So yeah, I can't wait. I'll be making tons of videos, maybe quest guides on those quests. I don't know. Just like I did for Archaeology. I mean, I made so many videos on the release day of Archaeology in the coming weeks. So I'll be looking to do a similar thing with this update, since I do have 3 accounts that are pretty much easily going to be able to jump into the skill and get started, so I can do multiple runs through of the quests and stuff like that for guides and stuff. And I can, I have that availability open to me. So really looking forward to it. And yeah, I guess Vorkath will be coming sometime later down the line. I'm interested to see if they reveal any more information on that. Is it going to be a new boss? I really hope so, because we haven't had a cool dragon boss in quite a while, and I'm a big fan of dragons in general. And I mean, I just remembered this guy. I hardly even recall him as a dragon. This boss is not great in my opinion. Not a very good boss. The Elite Dungeons 1 and 2 kind of feel a bit rushed. I don't really know, especially Elite Dungeon 1. ED2 is not as bad, I would say, but if you ask me, like Astelarn, the first boss in this dungeon, is a better, or at least more enjoyable boss than the Blackstone Dragon. Remove the part where he flies around the room, and the boss would become probably twice as good as it is now. Still not great, but definitely way better. But the main one I was thinking of, like, we haven't had a really, really cool, good dragon boss since like the QBD, which was really hard when it first came out. Now it's a joke. I would really hope that they'll do something cool for Vorkath if they end up making it an actual boss in the game. But yeah, again, that remains to be seen. Great quest overall. Really, really enjoyed it. Highly recommend completing it. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the addition to the fort and what that has brought to the table. So we have this little section that you add on to the guardhouse or whatever this is, which is like a fletching. Actually, I don't even know what they called it exactly. Let's check with Bill. We can see how garbage my building rewards are. Oh, cool. You can actually look at the tiers here. So yeah, it's called the Ranger's Workroom. And what this lets you do, as you can see on level 1, is there's a fletching workbench and spinning wheel in there. And then you get a 2% chance for you to get, I guess, for the workroom to supply materials. So I assume that just means you save your materials and don't use them. 2% chance and 1% chance to fletch an extra bundle of arrow shafts. Strange. And then tier 2, you'll get an additional 1% chance to fletch an extra bundle of ranged ammo, and then a 2% chance to fletch strung bows when fletching unstrung bows. And then tier 3 gives you a 5% increase to earned fletching XP, which is honestly pretty high. That's pretty good. And then you'll be able to get these Wisdom of Anima perks as well, which are kind of weird the way it all works. I think, let me double check the actual update post to verify. Sorry for the typing there. But yeah, you have to kind of like do a certain amount of the Elder God arrows to unlock these perks. So let me see what exactly they said here. You can make Elder, and it basically allows you to imbue them a lot faster. Yeah, so you'll need to make 500 stacks of the current Elder God arrow type, or whichever God arrow type you want to use this for. You have to make 500 stacks of it, which is over 5,000 arrows. I think isn't it 15 per stack? So that would be 5,000 plus 5 times 15. I don't know, something like that. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but yeah, you'll unlock that for that Elder God, and then you will you'll be able to access those benefits at tier 3. You can still craft the arrows prior to having tier 3 unlocked, and it'll count once you get there, but you can't unlock the perks until then. But then once you do get them to that, then you will imbue them. Let me look at the animation. It looks like it's like 5 or 6 times as fast. It's kind of insane how much faster it is. And instead of costing 3 anima per use, it will only cost 1. So a lot less anima required, as well as being a lot faster, but you will get basically 0 fletching XP, as opposed to you would normally get like 300 per batch. So pretty big loss of fletching XP, but if you don't care about that, then there's no reason not to get this and use it. Kind of strange that you have to do an additional unlock on top of building the fort thing here. I know there is something to do with these for this building, which I don't actually know about, so I guess it's not unprecedented. But and then you have the hatchet that you have to earn or after the woodcutting one. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's kind of crazy to me how they've done. I don't even remember. This might be the 3rd, maybe the 4th update that's tried to improve the Elder God arrows in terms of their creation and speed of getting them and stuff. So pretty crazy that they've had to do that so many times because of how much of a pain it was initially. For me, as an Iron Man mainly player, the worst part is easily gathering the flighting, I think it's called. I don't know, the poop basically that you gather from the getting the dinosaurs and then running all over the place on Anachronius at the beach. That's easily the worst part for me. I really hate doing that. The crafting of the arrows themselves and all that wasn't really a big issue for me, since this stuff is more AFK compared to doing that, which is absolutely not AFK at all. Can you stand under her? Oh, you can't. That's cheese. If you could stand under her, you could use the bench without moving. Kind of annoying. But yeah, so this doesn't really change a whole lot from my perspective, but I know a lot of people are happy with it. A lot of people did say that there were issues upkeeping the anima to make the arrows, especially I think full was hard to keep up if you're not doing a lot of Zuck. I don't really know. I've never had an issue with the anima. I've not really even used these arrows, though, too much on my hardcore accounts, so I guess I can't really talk too much in my personal experience, but overall, I think it's a good update. Definitely good that it makes it faster and easier to create these and less resources required, just at a sacrifice of a lot of the XP you get there. But overall, not that interesting of a building, honestly, compared to some of the others. But again, it's just like a little addition to this, to the guardhouse. So yeah, pretty cool. You can also shoot this target. It's kind of funny. You just walk up and pull a bow out of seemingly nowhere and just shoot it. Kind of weird. But yeah, wonder what the next building will be, or if there even will be one until the next quest or whatever. Like, is there going to be any during the necromancy season? I kind of doubt it. Although I don't really know where the city of entrance or location is going to be. I don't know if they mentioned that, but either way, that's pretty much it for this update, you guys. Pretty cool overall. Quest was really good, and the Elder God arrow production is nice to have as an option if you want to make them more quickly. And yeah, doing doing the future quest to see whatever comes of the Vorkath reveal here. It'll be pretty interesting. It's definitely kind of interesting and a little bit strange what they decide to kind of cross pollinate the games with. Like Old School has basically Nex. It just has Nex, the same Nex boss as RS3. And obviously, bosses that existed when 07 came out are going to be the same in RS3 because this is the same game, just a lot later on in the timeline. But obviously, Old School has since diverged very far away from where RS3 ended up. Things like the Inferno, that kind of came in with Zuck himself. So Zuck, was originally in Old School, came across to RS3. Something like Tormented Demons in RS3 ended up being like pretty much similar to those demonic gorillas that Old School ended up releasing. They took Nex. I don't know. It is kind of interesting where they decide to, share things between the games, and we'll have to see. I really hope it is a boss, but I could see it maybe just being like a quest little fight. I don't know. We'll have to see what they decide to do. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about the new quest? And are you hyped to see if Vorkath will come out? Hyped up for Necromancy? I know I sure am. I should be having another hardcore episode out fairly soon, and if there's any big news dropped for Necromancy or any other updates, I'll be sure to cover that as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.